I have a question. And this is about getting to know yourself. I do want to tell you as a witness, the best thing that you can do for you, each individual, is to know thyself. Know yourself is not a joke, but it's an amazing thing. And it takes a while to really just kind of know, and you will get to a point, well, I'll tell you that in a minute. But to know thyself, I don't care what happens along the road, you stay on that path, you stay on that straight and narrow path and know yourself, you'll be surprised what you find out. You will be surprised. So I want to know what state are you living in? A natural state or an unnatural state? A natural state or an unnatural state? What state are you living in right now? And since you didn't feel anything about the shooting, you should know. What state are you living in? Have you ever thought about that? What state am I living in? No? Are you living in an unnatural state or a natural state?
I'd say a natural state.
And what is a natural state for you?
For me, it's just to be, simply. It's just to let things happen and just to watch myself, because when I observe the things that have happened in my life and things that I've gone through, I notice that things are just falling off. I'm just seeing things on a daily basis as they happen, and I'm noticing changes about myself every day, constantly, and it's not me. And it's things that I can see clearly. It's things that I know for myself to be true, and it just is. And I'm not doing anything, so I feel like things are just naturally happening.
Have you ever lived in an unnatural state?
Oh yeah.
And what was that?
Chaos, mess.
A mess?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Right here. Are you living in a natural state? Did I see your hand? Yeah. A natural state or an unnatural state of being?
I think I live in an unnatural state.
And what's that?
I think it's just, I have glimpses of natural state, meaning I'm aware at times, but then I live in my head a lot. So I'm not living in reality.
And why not live in reality? Why don't you do it?
I still don't know why. I don't know why, because I want to have like the desire to be with God, to be present, to not be in my head. I want that so much, but I find myself like back into that unnatural state.
And so have you, before I asked the question, have you thought, you know what, I'm living in an unnatural state?
Maybe not those words exactly, but I do know there's something, I'm not quite in reality. I'm not living in reality. I get in my head, I get caught up in my thoughts. A lot of self-judgment, a lot of judgment on the world. And so I see that in
Amazing.
myself.
How about you? Natural state of being or an unnatural state?
Natural.
A natural state?
Yes.
And what is the natural state for you?
Logic, just living, and be an example for my family.
And what would be the unnatural state?
A mess, just, thoughts, things that aren't godly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Had you thought about that before today?
No.
No.
No, no.
And why not?
Never crossed my mind.
Oh, okay. Just hadn't thought of it.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, sir. Mr. President.
Okay.
Are you living in an unnatural state or a natural state?
I think we're living in an unnatural state because
You're living in an unnatural state?
unnatural. Because the reason is because your spiritual soul inside is your natural form, because that's how you originally were, until you're placed into this fleshy bag of bone and whatever vessel thing. And then
How old are you?
13.
Who boy is you?
What?
Who is your daddy? Oh, that's your daddy?
Yeah.
Who is your mama? Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're the oldest child in the family?
No, I'm actually technically the middle child.
Technically.
Not really it's like below the middle child, but not the youngest.
Oh,
Yeah. So I'm in between that in between.
you're the knee baby. Do you know what a knee baby is?
No, not really.
Do you
I'm
know what a
dumb.
knee baby is? What's a knee baby? Yes. The child that above the last child
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah.
the knee baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then
That's how they call it. Alabama. Oh, I'm the knee baby. That means you're the one just before the last child born.
and then also the reason we're in a unnatural state is because or another reason is because not all, but most people are angry.
That's right.
So you're not technically in a natural form. So
What an alpha male, huh? Make sure you run for president.
okay, well,
All right. Do you, what state of being do you live in? A natural state or unnatural?
Unnatural.
A natural state?
Yes.
And what is that?
To be real honest, I'm moody.
You what?
Moody?
You're moody. And so
Angry,
that's a natural
agitated.
state for you?
No, it's an unnatural.
Oh, unnatural state. Okay. And why are you moody?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. And what else?
Just agitated a lot, angry.
Yeah.
So
Do you listen to the show?
I do.
And have you heard me say how to overcome that?
Yes.
And what's one of the things, the primary thing you have to do?
Do the silent prayer and then forgive your
And-
mom and dad.
And why have you done that?
I don't know. I have done the silent prayer but I need to do it every day and every night.
But you can pray until the cows come home. But if you don't go and forgive, you can't enter into the kingdom.
Right.
So you don't have the help inside to overcome all the unnatural state.
I kind of feel like I don't know how to do that.
Do what?
Forgive.
You don't know how to go and forgive your parents?
No.
Have you heard me say how to do it?
You just go and do it.
Right. Just do it.
Okay. I'll do it.
But why haven't you? Are you afraid to?
I feel like I have, but then things come up to where I'm still just agitated, angry.
So you feel like you've gone to your parents and forgiven them?
Yeah.
But you haven't gone to them and forgiven them?
No.
What the?
I know.
How do you feel that you've done something you haven't done?
Well, because we've had our talks, and my mom has apologized and I've forgiven her, but
did
it just
you tell I'm sorry for resenting you?
No, I tell her it's okay.
It's not
I forgive
okay.
you. I
You
know.
don't.
I know.
What
okay.
the?
I know.
Yeah, you are in an unnatural state.
Yeah.
Of being. And so what does your husband say about you not doing it?
He says a lot of stuff, but he says I need to do it.
Do you want to be free? Do you want to come out of that unnatural state?
Yes.
And then that's the only way out, though.
Okay. Well, then I'll do it.
Are you going to do it?
Huh?
Are you going
Yes.
to do it?
Yes.
Are you afraid to hurt their feelings or anything?
I'm afraid that I'm going to be very emotional, and I don't want to break down crying
But
and
if
all
you
that
do, it'll
stuff.
pass. Let it pass. Let it happen,
Okay.
and don't try to control it, and you'll get past it.
Okay.
That's not a reason not to do it.
You're right.
All right. Plus,
Yeah.
you don't know what's going to happen until you do it.
Exactly. Okay.
All right.
I'm going to do it.
So let me tell you, unnatural state. Anyone that has anger, unnatural state. Anybody that has one iota of anger, unnatural state. Anyone that live in their imagination, unnatural state. Anyone that overreacts to situations, unnatural states. Anyone that judges themselves and other people, unnatural state. Anyone that cannot be alone and be at total peace, unnatural state. Anyone that, instead of praying for your brother or your sister, gossip about them or listen to rumors unnatural state. Anyone that worry about tomorrow, what you're going to have or what you don't have, or what someone has or what you don't have. Unnatural state of being. Anyone that is depressed or lonely or sad or feeling somebody else's pain, unnatural state. Anyone that listens to the intellect at all, unnatural state. The intellect is your enemy. Anyone that holds on to the truth, you can hear the truth, and if you try to hold on to it, rather than let it go in one ear and out the other one, unnatural state. You should always leave your glass empty. Never ever hold on to wisdom, never hold on to anything. Anyone that doesn't realize of themselves they know nothing and is nothing is unnatural state. Anyone, and I'm learning this myself, so I'm telling you what stand still helped you to discover, right? Anyone that holds on to any ideas about anything, even about God, is an unnatural state. Anyone that pretend that they are tough when they're really weak, unnatural state. Oh, I don't overreact. I just do this. Anyone that talk about I, believing that the ego you is an unnatural state. You are not the thoughts and you're not the feelings at all. But when you identify to them, with them, by overreacting to them, you're in an unnatural state of being. There is no you. And you have no idea about God at all. Everything you've been taught about God is holding you back. It put you into an unnatural state of being. You really have no idea about God. And that's why no one gets along, because everybody have these ideas about things. Everybody have their ideas about morality and about how someone else should act and how you should act. And you're trying to be this thing that you're never going to be, because it's not you. It's not you at all. You're trying to be something that's not you. You are not your ego, and you're not going to make it work. Anyone that try to make themselves overcome the fallen state, you're in an unnatural state, because you can't do anything of yourself. Anyone who think that they have a reputation or that they're wonderful, you're in an unnatural state of being. All those things are unnatural. If you just can't live in the moment without any opinion, you're in an unnatural state of being. And that's why everybody's suffering. They don't want to let go and let be. Just be. It's the hardest thing in the world for the average person to do, is to just be, and especially to be alone, because they can't handle the reaction of the ego. They think that the ego is them, and so they can't handle the downtime. They can't handle that alone time. That's why you try. I know people who get married. As a matter of fact, I just had someone, and they probably watching right now. I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm never going to be all by myself. I'm going to get married. And they older than dirt already, right? I'm like, why you want to get married? I just don't want to be alone. I'm like, don't you see that that's a problem? Because I know so many people who get married because they don't want to be alone, and once they get married, they can't hell. And there's just two devils fighting now, they're still alone. You can't, anyone that put anything before God, before the truth, is in an unnatural state of being. Anything. All thoughts are all lies all the time. I can't even tell you the depths of how all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. There's no truth in thoughts. And the darkness hate the light. And the darkness does not understand the light. But the light understands the darkness, and the light overcome the darkness. And you have nothing to do with it. The sooner you realize that, you'll be free. But as someone was saying, the hardest thing in the world to realize that the thoughts are lying. Because just think about the thoughts. When you think it, and it's not even you thinking it, you feel it. And you want to say, oh, I'm free, I'm free. I'm an observer, right? But then at the same time, you want to cry because it's so painful. It just feel like you. It just sound like you. You've been convinced. But the only thing you've been convinced of is a lie. It's not you. That's why you have to let it die. Everything you're doing is wrong. Everything I've done up to this point is wrong. We are not in charge of anything. We really are not. And we can have perfect peace right here on earth. But we got to be of love first. We must forgive so we can get the power of love to fight the darkness. We can't fight the darkness. We cannot fight it at all. You might as well give up and let it happen, because you're fighting the unnatural state of being, and you won't be natural. You will never be that logical. God wants us to be free. He sent his son so we can be free right here on earth. You can have hell on earth, or you can have paradise on earth. It's up to you. But you gotta let go. And stop following the crowd. Go from person to person, right? You're just agreeing with devils. You're just going from devil to devil to devil, never willing to stand alone and overcome by yourself. And men, I ain't never seen no men like this before. Every man might well wear a dress. You might well go put on the dress. You're supposed to be taking stuff, man. You're supposed to be tough. And like we were talking about the bully thing, don't you let that be a part of your vocabulary. You know the if point is the Lord's Prayer, right? It's a man, it's everything. If you can just allow yourself to go through it for the men and the women and just overcome and never complain, you'll be fine. If you never complain. Because there's nothing anyone can do about it anyway. If they have not pointed you back to the Father, there's nothing they can do about it. It's a waste of men telling their vices and crying on other people's shoulder, acting just like a woman. Look like someone would say, hey, no, you act like a girl right now. Men, read the poem or something. Even as a kid, we were not allowed to even come home talking about somebody bullied me. I don't even think that word existed then. And that's what the intellect does. The intellect make up words. And all these words that these people are coming up with, they're intellectual words that are straight out of hell, and they don't help you at all. They just make more words up. Make more words and more bullying and abuse and all this stuff they come up with, right? Racism and sexism, they're just words. And the intellect cannot understand the things of God. So don't even try to intellectually understand the things of God. It cannot understand it. The intellect is of the devil, and knowing is of God. You can know the truth, but you gotta let the ego go. You gotta let it go through what it gotta go through, because it's not you. Whatever folks think about it, whatever they call it, fine. That's good for you, so you can see how attached you are to the ego. What a mess, huh? That's right. You can literally, right over here, Chris, you can literally be free right here, right now, or you can live a hell of a life. You can live in hell. Fear and doubt and worry and jealousy and strife and comparison and all kind of stuff. I want you to know, as children of God, when we come back to the Father, he said be in the world and not of it. He meant that. He would take care of us. Once you let go of the not you, you'll be in the world and all these crazy things will be happening around you, but you will not be moved by it. Without trying not to be moved by it, there will be nothing in you that would be moved by it. You would know that the Father got you without even thinking about knowing that you're okay. You know how you worry? And you worry, you're going to naturally not worry without even thinking about not worrying. It just won't be a part of you. You won't go around thinking, oh, I'm not worried. Right? You wouldn't be on that kind of ego trip. You just be, knowing that, but you won't even know that you know or think about the Father got me. You would just be. You wouldn't be into thinking. As a matter of fact, you only need you need practical thinking for physical things, like food and put some gas in your car and blah, blah, blah. But you're going you what the? Right, hold on. You're going to eventually live your life without thinking. You have logical thinking, practical thinking, but you would be thinking about anything else. Because it will return to the Adam and God relationship where Adam knew without having words what his father wanted. He was one with his father. They never had words to talk to each other, right? You're going to go back to that, and all this thinking stuff would disappear. It will disappear. But you got to be serious about you. You got to stay on that narrow path and be still and watch. You got to be willing to let the ego die. And family members and others are not going to like you for it. Wish them well. Wish them well. Don't join them. Just wish them well. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. You can get involved by going to our chat line on YouTube there, and Hake will give me your questions or comments and I can respond.